Hello and welcome to a Paladin's Guide to Drunken Boxing, or Brewmaster Monk, whichever you prefer. My name is Falcon, and today we're going to be looking at the ins and outs of the new class and their spec of Brewmastery. We're going to cover the basic abilities, talent setups that I would use for leveling, and while not currently implemented, we will take a look at some of the glyphs. And I will give you my impressions of which ones I would use, even though you cannot choose them. First and foremost, we should probably open up our talent tree. So for the talent tree, you have many various things here, which are all new because, let's face it, it's a new class. But the ones that I have chosen personally, and I'm not going to try to slaughter the names too much, because, well, celery? Looks like celery to me. Wow. Celerity? It's probably close enough. Is the first ability at level 15 that you will get to pick up. This allows your roll and torpedo, chi torpedo that is, to be used one more time before it is on full cooldown, giving you 3 charges in all, and it also reduces the cooldown by 5 seconds. Pretty damn nifty. Of course, this for some reason is not showing the cooldown. But next is Zen Spear. This forms a spear above the target's head, healing the target for X amount every 2 seconds, and dealing X amount of damage to the nearest enemy within 10 yards. For every 2 seconds for 16 seconds. Now if you cast this again, the spear detonates, healing for X and doing damage for X. And it appears that it does not quite, well, it does it for all enemies, so I guess that's why it doesn't heal or damage for quite the same amount. Actually, it heals for a bit more. Interesting. So next we come to our... Oh, and if you haven't figured it out, basically, level 15 is movement. All of this is movement speed. Level 30 is all a sort of heal / damage type abilities. Level 45 is your chi management or chi generation, in which I choose the power strikes, which is just a simple passive ability that allows your jab to generate more chi every 15 seconds. And if you're at max chi, it drops Chi Spear, which I'm assuming you can walk over and get chi back, I guess. Makes sense, we'll figure it out in a little bit. So for level 60, it is your stun utility type moves, in which I choose Charging Ox Wave. This basically shoots a ox thing off that stuns all targets in front of you, and it looks like this. Wrong one. Where's it at? There we go. It shoots a ox head for 40 yards. We will get more into that in a minute and why it's set up where it is. Now last but not least, we have healing elixirs. Anytime you drink from a brew or tea, you gain 10% of your total health. This effect cannot occur more than once every 15 seconds. And that would be categorized if you picked up Chi Brew. It would work with that, but of course I did not. It also works with your Purifying Brew, your Fortifying Brew, and your Elusive Brew. Do not think anything else counts. Probably not. And this is all your healing / damage reduction type abilities. And then last, even though we can't do it, you have your level 90 stuff, which is... I'll go over all that once they open up level 90. Now glyphs. As you can tell here, I cannot choose any glyphs. And there's not a whole lot of glyphs to choose from any... Oh yeah, there is. Wait, what am I thinking? Wow, there's a lot of glyphs. Okay, I'm an idiot. Let's face it, we all knew this. but kind of going over some of the glyphs that you're probably going to want to pick up. Let's see. First and foremost, that one, no. Glyph of Fire Breath. This would be for Brewmaster. When you use Breath of Fire on a target that has 3 stacks of Dizzying Haze, it becomes disoriented for 3 seconds. Nifty if you're kiting. Or I guess just in general, but if you picked up Chi Wave, then you would want to probably get this. Glyph of Dizzying Haze. Okay. You apply 2 stacks of Dizzying Haze when cast instead of 1. Oh, interesting. Okay, I never actually fully read Dizzying Haze. Okay, we'll go over that in 1 minute. Nope. Fortifying Brew. Your Fortifying Brew reduces damage taken by an additional 5%, but increases your health. Wait, what? Oh, reduces the amount of damage. Am I reading this wrong? Your Fortifying Brew reduces damage taken by an additional 5%. Okay, that's good. But increases your health by 10%. Oh, okay. So you don't get as much health back from situational. You may or may not want that. Increases the amount of your guard absorbed by 10%, but your guard can only absorb magical damage. Good for fighting casters, but bad for everything else. Let's see, this would be another one for your tank. Your Ox statue stirs hatred in the target, reducing movement speed by 50% and causing them to attack your Black Ox statue for 8 seconds. Interesting. We do not have mana. Ooh, we do have this though. You create a fire blossom at your feet. The blossom will last 10 seconds. That's what that does. Interesting. Maybe you're not supposed to have that unless you glyph for it. Definitely not something a tank would want. Possibly Glyph of Sparing would be good. That could be useful in fights, PvP, leveling, or certain bosses that do throw bleeds on you. I can see the use in that. Okay, we're running a little long here because of this. Yeah, that's pretty much it. As far as these all go, none of these really seem to be important, except Zen Flight. And that's just because of movement speed. Actually, I'd say Zen Flight, Waterfall, Water Roll, and Spirit Roll. Just because, yeah, movement speed. Even while dead, more movement speed. Don't know why you'd want it or need it. Already got enough. Anyway, sorry, I've been rambling. Let's go ahead and get into the actual abilities of the Brewmaster Monk. And you might notice my setup is a little weird. I was attempting to set it up because it's a new class, so that you will... Basically, it's set up into what type of roles they fill, even though a lot of them fill multiple roles. And please note that this is not like the major roles they fill. It's just kind of what I see for it. So we'll start off with damaging abilities, and you'll notice that some of these are in other places, but you'll understand, I think. So let's start off with damaging abilities. Your basic attack, jab, generates 1 to 2 chi based on the talent ability that we picked up. And this is your main chi, your main chi gainer. It does not cost any energy or anything. At least it says it doesn't. Blackout kick. This is a kick with chi energy, costs 2 chi, has to be in melee range, and it deals moderate damage. If the target's below 50% health, it deals extra damage to them. Keg smash. Possibly one of the coolest moves that a Brewmaster gets. It requires you to be in Ox stance, costs 40 energy, and it has an 8-second cooldown and can only be used at 8 yards. Now it throws a keg that deals a pretty good amount of damage and at the target and at 2 nearby targets. Entrenches the target in your dizzying haze. Also applies your... Also generates 2 chi. And adds weakened blows. Everyone has weakened blows nowadays. So basically, yeah. It allows you to do that without having to actually apply dizzying haze through the ability, but there's a reason to use the ability, and we'll see in a second. Breath of Fire. Breathes fire in a conal AoE. If it... up to 12 yards. Sorry. It costs 2 chi and is an instant cast and requires Ox stance. If the target has dizzying haze on them, it burns them for extra damage. And if you picked up the glyph, it would then stun them if they had 3. Spinning crane kick. You swirl around, like so, and you deal a good amount of damage. But your movement speed is reduced by 30%. It only lasts 3 seconds, and it's a channeled ability. However, you can still dodge and parry, which is a good thing. Palm! Tiger Palm! Okay, so this move is kind of your basic combo with your jab. Especially while leveling in low levels. I believe it is the first move you learn after jab. And it costs 1 chi. Now this move does moderate damage. And it also grants you Tiger Power, causing your enemy to ignore causing your attacks to ignore 5% of your enemy's armor. Stacks up to 3 times, so you can get 15% armor reduction. Now last is kind of an interesting one, which allows you to place fire blossoms on the ground, which whenever a target runs over them, causes fire damage to them. So say you're going to do a pull. Now remember you got 40 yards. So say you're going to pull something. You can go like so. Drop a fire blossom and then pull them and get them to come over this. We'll go over pulls in a second. But it looks pretty, right? Oh, whoa. Okay, just kind of places them in random spots. And that covers what I consider your basic damaging abilities. Now your buff in Legacy of the Kings is the same as the Paladin's King buff, or excuse me, Legacy of the Emperor. Same as the Paladin's King buff and the Druid's Mark of the Wild. So I believe they still do that. Alright, let's move along to what I'm going to call basic utility. Your roll, obviously it's a roll. Oop, using it. You roll. You get 3 of these, and it's got a, what is that, like 13, 15 second cooldown to regenerate. You get 3 of them. You can see it's pretty good. It's actually quite good, I should say. It's very mobile.